Alrighty, what's poppin' everybody? It's Michael Walder here from the landflippingformula.com, and in this video I'm covering some more questions that had came in about the land investing business, and this came in from Mr. Biz asking me to cover the initial buying process. Now there's a couple different ways the buying process can go down, so I'll break down a few different scenarios and then we could always get into more in-depth information down the road if you ask. So let's say you're interested in buying land and you're just looking for cheap parcels to either flip or just to expand within your portfolio. So I'm talking about properties that are cost typically under $1,500, small type stuff. So the process for this on the buying side would be, first, you're going to search for the property. So you're going to go on all the major land sites that I always share with you. You're going to see the people on there that have great deals, that consistently have deals on there. So they're reputable sellers. You know they're not going to dash out on you once they get your money. Typically, on smaller deals, I don't even do purchase agreements on. So I'm not saying to follow that same suit there, but I typically would just use their checkout button to purchase the property and send them the information of what I want it deeded to. Now, I do a lot of purchasing on credit cards to protect myself. So if someone did dash with my cash, you could always say, look, they never delivered on their end. You could argue it and then many times get your money back. But let's get back to the process here. So let's say I find a big wholesaler. They have a bunch of property in Arizona. I make a purchase of $500 on a quarter-acre lot in Cochise County, Arizona, and they say they received the payment via credit card from me. I say, great. Let's go ahead and deed it to this company name, this address, and then they go ahead and get the deed ready. Typically, they will send you a proof of deed first. So they'll say, hey, does everything look good on the deed? You answer yes or no. This takes a day or two because most of these guys and gals are busy. And once it's all okay and good, in many cases, they will mail the deed to the county for you, and this usually costs $25. Now, these are the bigger wholesalers in the marketplace. Now, let's say you're dealing with a smaller player, someone that doesn't like doing the deed filing, and I deal with people like this as well. The same initial process will start. You'll go ahead and purchase a cheap property on your credit card. They will prepare the deed for you, and then they will mail it out to you for you to file. Once you have the physical copy of the deed, what I always do is I make a copy of it anyway. Now, this doesn't do a whole lot for you aside from just saying you have a track record or a paper trail on it, because most counties will not file the copy of the deed. They want the original copy, but you just make a copy for your own records, and then you mail it to the county with a check for $20 to $25 in most cases is the filing fee in most counties. So super simple scenario like this. Now let's say you're a total newbie, you're scared to death and you're afraid everybody's going to rip you off. The next best way to do this on cheap properties is to hire an attorney just to draw up a simple deed in the county you're buying the property in and file it for you. Now, this is a real case scenario. Years ago, I bought a property in Bella Vista, Arkansas. Bella Vista was like the subdevelopment. I didn't know anything about how to prepare the deeds there. I was kind of a newbie at the land business at the time. And I just started calling local attorneys until I found one that would do it for me. And it cost me, I think, $150 to $200, somewhere in there. But what I did was they were the escrow agent and they prepared the deed. So the seller, who was supposed to get, I don't know, $500 for the property, let's just say, I mailed the attorney a check made out to the seller for $500, and then I mailed the attorney a check for $150 to prepare the deed, file it for me, and all that fun stuff. So once the deed was filed, the attorney mailed the seller their check from me, so everything was on the up and up. Everybody got paid when it transferred correctly. It was clean, smooth, and good to go. So that's what you do if you're unsure of a scenario, but you really found a property you want that you want to move forward with. So these are just cheap deals here. Now let's talk a little bit about nicer, bigger, better parcels. When you're going after properties of, I would say, $6,500 or more of a dollar value, I would go full title, legit purchase agreement, the whole deal. So here's how I would break this down. let's say someone had a 40-acre parcel, they wanted $10,000 for it, and you love the parcel, you know you could flip it for 15 or 20, or you just want to hold it, whatever the case. I would do a purchase agreement on it first, and I would submit a deposit of $500 to $1,000 on that, just to let them know I'm serious about this. Next, I would use a title company. This is going to cost you a little more, but your $10,000 is going to be in much safer hands handling it this way. So I would take the purchase agreement, give it to the title company, and say, hey, we want to close within 30 days. Just make sure there's nothing funky on the title. It all transfers properly, blah, blah, blah. And most of us know how to go ahead and close from there. The title company will hold our hands, and that's what they get paid for. So that's on our higher end properties. The other way is if you're doing seller finance deals, and you know we're really big on that over here at Raw Land Investments. So you get the way we do it is, if you're purchasing a property on seller financing terms, we may take the down payment and the first month's payment right off the bat. Within 24 hours, we email you a contract just stating that, hey, you owe us $25 a month for the next, let's just say 24 months in this example. And at the end of that term, when we're paid in full, we deed the property over to you. In many cases, I'd say 90% of all cases, we file the deed as well for that. Now, there have been a few times where the buyer just wanted the deed to file it themselves. Don't ask me why, but I have absolutely no problem with that. So in those cases, we would create the deed, notarize the deed, and then just send it out to the buyer once we're paid in full, and then they go ahead and file it with the county. So that's kind of a basic overview on how the buying process works. On cheap stuff, you just make payments by credit card. You have a little bit of a hedge in case you get screwed over. You can complain to your credit card company, and many times your money comes back. But all in all, the vast majority of people out there are not going to screw their name up over a few $100s. Now, Craigslist type stuff, you might run into some crackheadish type behavior, as I like to say. But all in all, people want to do good business. They want to expand, and they want to do more deals together. So, on the bigger properties, you go ahead and do a full title purchase agreement, the whole shazam. If you're a little sketched out, but you really want the property, just hire a real estate attorney in the county that you're buying the property in. Get them all the paperwork, have them do the deed. You're going to pay a little extra, but you're paying for security. So I hope this helps. If I missed anything, please comment below. I will do a follow-up video covering anything I missed, because I totally shoot from the hip on these. But as always, I appreciate you tuning in. Comment with those questions, and I'll see you on the next video.